Good afternoon, traders. It is time to get started. It is Monday the 9th, and let's dive into our trading day. Real quick, put something in the chat for me. Hey, Zach, how are you? I see that you are trying to pass some stuff here. It was an interesting day out there on the markets. I was actually in an oil trade today. Did not think would go all the way to where it was supposed to go, and it went way past where it was supposed to go. Anyhow, crazy day out there. Put something in the chat for me if you would. Give me a 1 if you are struggling in your trading and you're trying to figure it out. Give me a 2 if you're where you need to be, but you're just kind of lonely out there needing community. Where are my 1s? Where are my 2s? Put a 1 in the chat if you are struggling with consistency and discipline and all those things in trading. And then give me a 2 if you got what you need, but you're just kind of lonely out there. You need to find some other people to trade with, because we've got some things that we're working on for that. Or you can put a 12 in the chat if you're both. So let's dive in. First things first, as we always. Yes, the title of today's live stream is Day Trading with Jesus, and then is that even possible? Let me show you today's verse, and we are going to be tackling. As a matter of fact, we're already tackling this week in the daily devotion for traders that I put out every morning. The full armor of God. So Ephesians 6:13 says, "Therefore," by the way, anytime you see the word "therefore," as my mom always told me, ask yourself, what is the therefore? Therefore. And which usually means what's the previous thought, which says, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this age." Do you ever feel like the markets are ruled by the darkness of this age? Against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. So therefore, because of all this, because we don't wrestle, because what we're doing is not just based here on earth, but trading is one of those things where you can't necessarily work harder to get more. We'll get to there in a minute. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. By the way, that word evil, yes, can mean evil, wicked, but it also means full of labors, annoyances, hardships. Anybody out there ever get to the end of your trading day and it was full of annoyances and hardships? Drop me a yes in the chat if you have ever finished your trading day and you were just worn out emotionally because of how frustrating and annoying it was. It should have done what it was supposed to do, and maybe it did it, but man, it just was all over the map. You ever finish your trading? Maybe your trading day is only an hour. Zach says today. Maybe your trading day is 2 hours, but you get done with your trading time, and you're like, I feel like I've run a marathon. This is why we have a plan. By the way, Zach, your question of what's the procedure, what's the process besides just inviting God in? That's why we're going through this the entire week. How to apply the armor of God to what we are doing. So with that in mind, let's take a look at what happened today out there in the markets. I'll show you what we did this morning. This is the swing trading. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Here's the day trading. So by the way, for those of you who have asked, we are beta testing right now a live trading room, a day trading room, first thing in the morning, about 7 o'clock Central is what we're testing out right now. We're still fiddling with tech and time and people and strategy and all of those things, but it should be up and running and ready to release into the world here very soon. So today I had 3 day trades this morning. Let me just show you what I did. So the first thing I did was I had one here on oil, and basically this was a forest pullback and a breakout. So I saw right here, we came down, we moved up, we came down, we moved up. So we're just sort of slowly bouncing our way down. And we were right here. I said, well, if we lose this level right here, this is on the 15-minute chart, we're probably going to continue to go. And we did. And then right around, I don't know, this was an hour and a half ago, I was up $400 or $500 on it. You know what? That's enough for the day. It bounced off the 200. I'm good because that already closed out my other one. So I exit here. Now my actual trade was scheduled to exit at 88.50. So I gave up some. I got out at 90, so I gave up $1. So probably could have stretched another $100 out of this if I had just been patient and waiting. But I thought, enough's enough. Good enough is good enough, and I got out. But look at what oil did today. I mean, it dropped. Good grief! Where is the daily chart on oil today? Today, oil dropped from the high. Oil dropped 30 some odd dollars. It was quite the interesting day. Glad I got that one. I was in a trade on the S&P this morning. Again, this is one we were trading this together in our live trading room, sort of. Got it on a pullback using the forest strategy. Again, the forest strategy is just dead simple. It's just, hey, when everything's moving up, let's get in on a pullback to the 30. I wait for that to kind of be confirmed. We had a demand zone down here, wait for that to be confirmed there, and got out there. And it pulled back right after I got out. I got out the moment the market opened. It triggered. Matter of fact, my trade disappeared and my chart hadn't even caught up yet. I'm like, what just happened? Where'd my trade go? The chart's still showing price down here, but you see what happened. And sure, it could have gone more. I got what I wanted. There's a biblical principle we will go over about how do you set your take profit in a way that honors God. Can you use the Bible to do things specific, like setting a stop loss and a take profit? Short answer, yes, we'll get there. When is enough enough? There's a fantastic principle for that. So that was that trade. So you see, I got this piece of it, and my stop was down here, so I wouldn't have gotten stopped out. And there was that. That was fine. And then on the gold here, my algorithm, my trading robot actually got me in this overnight, and I probably should have put a longer term filter on it, but didn't. So it got me in short, and we were just sort of all day long. Came down to here, about halfway to where, and then started squiggling. And once we broke up through here, I said, that's it, I'm out. And I'm kind of glad I did, because you see what it did. The whole point of my philosophy on trading is simply have a plan that fits you. My passion is for helping Christian traders get over their inconsistency by showing them how to develop a plan that fits themselves, their lifestyle, and is tailor-made to them. And entering into the markets with a plan in place, not one that is, okay, well, I'm going to see what's happening and then go from there. But look, the entire point of Paul's admonition in Ephesians, put on the full armor of God, it said we got to have a plan in place. Each piece of armor does a specific thing. Just like each piece of my plan, I say each piece, there's like 3, does a specific thing. Now, if you were not day trading, if you were swing trading, you probably had a slightly more sedate day. Let's jump over to Frank, and then I will finish the day off with showing you my multi-time frame analysis on Forest. I don't remember if I showed that last week or not, but that's what I'm doing now on my swing trade. I've got a day trading account on a prop firm. It's not a prop firm, but anyway, and I've got a swing trading account. So just to show you, this is what we did today on day trading. So we're up 0.5%. Look, I took a small bite this morning. So you know what? It's Monday. Things have happened over the weekend. Because of that, I'm going to cut my risk in half, and I went in each position at 0.5% instead of 1%. So today was a 0.5% up day. I'm fine with that. This is the prop firm account, Darwin X here. And once this number hits 675, I'm shutting this one down, switching to a different account, and waiting for my $30,000 allocation. Excuse me, 30,000 euro allocation, and we'll keep trading it. So before we go any further on the Forest, let me show you Frank. Boy, I tell you what, the day trading, it was wild and crazy, as Zach pointed out. Swing trading, not a lot happened. Here's my Aussie Swiss trade. Well, I take it back. For Aussie Swiss, that's a pretty big move there. So we are about halfway. This trade has just been hanging out forever. We were in Euro Swiss. We're still in Euro Swiss. Man, we bounced. Did I get out? I did not. How did I not get out on this trade? This trade has hit its take profit several times. Oh, there's just a difference between. So what did I miss is 89.80. and my exit is 89. Okay, so I didn't just barely miss it. It didn't get near close enough to it. And then I also have a stock Frank, which is Verizon, and Verizon's heading down. So this was our signal candle. The whole point of Frank is momentum, and there clearly is no momentum. So if we break below this candle here, I'm out. I don't mind doing that. I don't like meddling with my trades. I like to just set it and forget it. But tomorrow's one of the videos about the armor of God is about truth, and it simply boils down to this: what is your strategy trying to accomplish? Understand the logic behind it. Don't just get caught up in the indicators and momentum, and this is moving and this is squiggling and that's flashing lights at you. What is the point it's trying to achieve? Frank relies on momentum, and it relies on momentum to even get in the trade. And when momentum dies, there's probably not much point in being in the trade. I heard on the Merlin Rothfeld show, 2 or 3 years ago, fantastic explanation of a trading strategy or trading in general. And I loved how simple it was. And I want everyone to go on a journey of simplifying your trading. We can help with that. But anyway, this is what his guest said. Trading simply boils down to this: have a reason to get into a trade and look to get out when that reason goes away. Simple as that. Frank, the entire raison d'etre, I hate using French, the entire reason for existing in Frank is momentum. Frank says, hey, an engulfing candle is a momentum candle. And for this trade to do what it needs to do, momentum has to keep on going and keep showing that the buyer, in this case, the buyers are in charge. Well, the buyers fizzled out not long after we got into this trade. So if Frank says, hey, ride the momentum, there's none to be had. So if we break through this, matter of fact, I'm probably going to go ahead and set my stop at this low of, I'll do it here in front of you. Verizon, this is E-Trade. I can't set a stop on E-Trade, or at least I don't know yet how to set a stop on E-Trade. I'll do it manually. I'll just go ahead and set my my exit on to sell it at 50. What's the low there? 50.15. So that's where I'll be out here on Verizon. The other two are fine. Real quick, let's go through our swing trade on Frank and just see what we've got. And I'm gonna do this as fast as I normally do, so you can all see how easy it is to swing trade. Okay, look, right now I'm in the trade, so I can't get in the trade. There's a signal to go long on Aussie Swiss. Does everybody see that? All right, we have an engulfing candle. Price is below the moving average. So what's the logic there? Why does this do what it do? Polly says, I once heard you should have a reason to enter trade and be able to name it. Oh, that's fantastic, Polly. Absolutely. If you can't explain your reason in one simple sentence, do you have a reason? So Frank says, hey, here's what we want. We want price to have been going in a direction and then kind of stall out. In fact, we kind of want the opposing traders to try to push it the opposite way. And then our guys show up to the party and just take off and drive this thing in our direction. So that's an engulfing candle. So what we want here is for price to have, in this case, moved up. We want price to have moved up and then kind of gone sideways enough that the moving average comes out on top of it. In order to get below the moving average, price doesn't have to go down. Price could just go sideways, and then sort of the moving average overshoots it. So then price came down. Well, in this case, it did go down. And then look, this is from Friday. Yeah, Frank is the most dead simple strategy I have ever come across. And the only reason that I give away Forest first to people is because in order for someone to fully grasp Frank, you have to know what an engulfing candle is. And often I just don't feel like teaching it. So price came down and the buyers on Friday said, all right, we're pushing down, down, down. And today, the sellers on Friday said, we're pushing down. And today the buyers are like, bet, and just took over. And this is a momentum candle. So right now we have an entry. If you want to get in the Aussie Swiss, your entry is the high of today. Why not get in right now? Because you want all of these buyers to prove themselves to you. Hey guys, If you are really in charge, kind of like Gideon putting out a fleece. God, if it's really you, if you really want me to do this thing, let's do some weird things with wool and water. You're saying, hey, buyers, if you're really in charge, like I think you are, I'm not getting in until you prove to me that you can continue what you did today. So you set your entry at the high here, and you're only going to get triggered if the buyers keep on going. Having said that, I do look at a big giant candle like that with a grain of salt. I say, okay, I'm trying to get this amount of movement again. Like, see this candle here? Yeah, that's an engulfing candle. I would never, ever trade that candle. That is way too big. It's too far out of the norm. So one of the things I like to do is that, hey, if I use ATR. ATR is an invaluable. Here, I need to be emphatic here, Mr. Producer. Make sure I don't start talking on the charts again without going back to the charts. ATR is an invaluable. Zach says he likes to use volume to confirm entry. That's great. Volume is less applicable on Forex. It's not inapplicable, but it's less applicable. ATR just means average true range. Hey, all things being equal, what's the average size of a candle? What's the high minus the low divided by 2, right? Or high plus the low divided by 2. I don't like to trade any candle ever if the if the candle range is above like 1.5 ATR, which says, hey, today's candle has moved 50% more than normal. And if I'm trying to catch that move, I'm like, well, part of the move I want to get has already been used up by some of today. So I don't know if today's candle meets that criteria of 1.5 ATR. If it does, I wouldn't trade it. But anyway, there's your setup right now. So continuing on with Frank and moving down. By the way, be on the lookout. What did I just do? All right. Why am I drawing again? I'm sorry, guys. Be on the lookout. Don't just blindly scroll like mad through here. Take your time. By the way, there we go. Aussie Kiwi. There was your signal from Friday, and we did not get triggered today. So if you want a good looking trade, here's one. Look at this candle, right? All this massive tail. You want to get in on a good looking trade? Aussie Kiwi right now. Set your entry right above that. Now, don't do it right now. We got 13 minutes till this market closes. There's every chance with something like Aussie Kiwi, you can get triggered on just the spread widening that's coming up in 12 minutes. And then if price falls away, you're like, why am I in this trade? Price never even got to my entry. So I would say the best time to swing trade Frank is in between the 4 and the 5 central, the 5 and the 6 eastern, that period of time when the markets are closed. Anyway, I was looking at something. Oh, here we go. All right. There's no signal here because, this is not an engulfing candle. Here's why. The close of this is 110.941. The open of this is 110.442. I'm sorry, I did that wrong. The open of this is 110.427. This is 110.4. So it's 2 pips away. But your eyeball looks at that and goes, yeah, that's an engulfing candle. But math being what math is, TradingView is not going to show you the nice little green triangle if it's not absolutely dead on engulfing. So this is an engulfing candle today from Friday. There's your another signal. I won't go through all these. I tell you what, I will go through all these on fast forward. And if you guys see something that I don't, there we go. Look at that. There's your signal on pound Aussie. This is a trade that I had a setup for way back here. Matter of fact, I think that one I forgot to close that pending order out. Typically, you only let Frank go. Where in the world is there it is. You typically only let Frank go 1 candle before you consider the trade to have expired. Here's another one right here. Another engulfing candle, prices above it. That's a signal to go short. Pound CAD. I said I wasn't going to do this, but I am going to do this. I don't see anything else. And boom, we're done. I'm not going to go through the stocks, but they're there as well. You've got all night long. It's one of the beauties of trading Frank with the stock market is that you got all night long to look at it before they open up tomorrow. And, I did the Verizon trade. I got in after market just with E-Trade. I said, okay, see if you can get me in. I forget what I was getting in at 51.10 when price closed. It was 51.20. So it's even give me a 51.10 after market, and it did. So that's Frank. Frank is simple. Find a way to simplify what you are doing. Make sure you fully understand what's going on. And on a day like today, just bear in mind what's happening out there. What's the mindset of people who are trading? Lastly, let me show you Forest. So I have been trading Forest for the last week or so with the Rolando rules. Ooh, that's a good way to put that. Rolando rules. Rolando's my buddy from Monterrey, Mexico, who is trading for. Is this it? Which one is this? CPCH? Nope, that's the wrong one. There it is. I've been trading this for the last week using Rolando rules. Really doing well. So up 2.5%, 2.3%, 1% today, 62% win rate. And all it is, and bless his heart for showing me something that was so simple, it was staring me in the face. He just uses multi-time frame analysis. Big words. All that means is he goes through his charts, right? I trade all 28 Forex pairs plus silver and gold, like a Burl Ives song, and oil. So I trade 31 things. And you simply go in here. Let's find one that I'm not in. By the way, again, this is why I love sharing ideas. Our LA Trading Thursday night mastermind class is called an open Q&A forum. We just sort of share ideas. Rolando comes in there. He's like, oh, I color code my background to help me know what's going on. I'm like, I'm sorry, what now? Yeah, if it's this or that. So anyway, I have done just, again, copied Rolando's idea. So if you see it, the background in dark blue, it's an open trade. If you see it in, I believe technically that's called cyan, then it's a pending trade. So if you see it in gray, it means nothing's happened. So let's just do one of these. You go in here, you go, boop. What's the daily trend? Up, okay? This is not a swing. This is not a day trade. This is a swing trade. So do not fight the daily trend. You will, BlackRock will bulldoze you and your account if you try to fight them on anything. So the daily trend is where BlackRock and the Bank of England do their thing. So go to the daily chart. It's up. That means I'm only going long. So now I look for the setups that Forest tells you, which is basically, hey, I'm going to make a new high, meaning we've got an uptrend going on. Get in on a pullback to the 30. That's why I teach this one to people who don't know how to trade. Though I generally don't like teaching people how to trade, because I don't have to even explain anything. I'm like, okay, you see a green dot? Enter at the red line. That's it. So then he goes down in time frame. All right, do I have a setup here? Yes, look. Here was our, well, we missed it because the brand new one was down here. There's your first dot. There's your entry. There's your exit. Go down to the 4-hour chart. So here was your first dot. There's your entry. There's your exit. Okay, that was a win. A lot of times, if you're swing trading, I check these charts twice a day, morning and evening. I'm sitting in my chair watching Matlock. We don't watch Matlock. We watch Jag. Anyway, sitting in my chair watching Jag, and I just go through all these charts like this, set an entry, and find ways that you don't have to be in front of your charts all the time. I'll show you a prime example. I've got some EAs that an EA is a trading algorithm, a robot, specifically in the MT4, MT5 world. That once I make a decision to enter, I drop it on the chart, and it says, okay, I'll watch the chart for you, and if price touches the 30, I'll go ahead and get you in. And the same thing on the exit. Hey, I'll watch the chart for you, and if we get a flip, I'll get you out. Easy. Our little ChatGPT Bolt system coded it for me. Anyway, so we're going down to the 1 hour. Still don't see a good entry. Go down to the 30 minutes, and there's nothing there. I don't go below the 30 minute because that sort of crosses over into the territory of day trading. And this is a swing. For me, this is a swing trading system. Now, I obviously day trade Forest because it's how I trade in the mornings. But this account is swing trading, so I don't go below the 30-minute chart. I'm worn out, and I haven't even had a chance to ask, does anybody have any questions? You've got 5 minutes to ask any questions for me to answer as I am trying to show you some stuff here. So drop any questions in the chat that you might have. Mr. Producer, please pop that up if you would. Oh, I wanted to show you the thing we got this weekend. Am I still? Yeah. So I've got a free webinar. This is on Friday at lunchtime. It occurred to me, hang on, let me be emphatic. It occurred to me that with my emphasis on trade in a way that honors God and serves your family, that possibly having things at night when you're supposed to be having family time might not be the best idea. How can you join the community? That's a good question. There are free and paid versions of the community, but do I have your email, Zach? If I don't have your email, contact me and I'll send you the stuff. I don't like to advertise here on YouTube but I'll show you real quick. I have no idea what I was saying. Let me go back to here. This is our free webinar we've got coming up on Friday. And it is at lunchtime. That's what I was saying. So that you don't take time away from your family, we're going to do it at lunchtime. And you can listen and do everything you need to do during lunchtime. We have several different options for the community. We've got the free Facebook community. You're going to schedule a call. That's a fantastic reminder for me to open up more availability this week. I will do that for you, Zach, as soon as we get off of here. So ways you can interact with us. We have the free Facebook community. I'm endeavoring to do more, though. We do go live on Sunday afternoons, answering any and all questions for free. We will not be doing that this Sunday afternoon because we will be sailing away from Galveston on the Regal Princess. But I still plan on live streaming from the high seas being the Gulf of whatever. People say, well, do you call it the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of America? And my answer to that is neither. I'm from Mississippi. We call it the Gulf. My entire life, I've never said the Gulf of anything. It's just the Gulf. Anyway, so we'll still be live streaming next week. Free Facebook group, Discord channel open. We have to gatekeep this, and the IT department's doing this thing. Essentially, if you've ever bought anything from us, a book, a ticket to a challenge, any of that things, you get free access to the Discord channel. That's where we're going to be going live in the mornings with our live trading room. And then we have our mastermind calls and our one-on-one calls and all of the mentorship accountability stuff, which is in our program. But easiest thing for anybody to do to ask a question is to just go right here to book a call, and you can just get a call with me and I can answer whatever questions you want to ask. All right. That was a lot. I try to cram a lot into this half hour. And the whole point of this, as we say all the time, is pick your time of day that you're going to trade and build walls around it. Do not let it jump its banks. As someone who is from Mississippi, right, who is familiar with the river, when it jumps its banks, it's a bad thing. This has nothing to do with anything other than it's just funny. But so apparently back in the 30s, when the river did jump its banks and it flooded out half our state, we built our side of the levee 2 feet above the Arkansas side. So if it does jump its banks, it'll flood Arkansas, not Mississippi. Anyway, pick your time, not your nose. Polly, you are as eloquent as the bard himself. Pick your time and build walls around it. Don't let it bleed over into the rest of your life. Mark, if you are here, if you're watching this on replay, I've had people ask me, hey, when are you going to? Did you drive your shit? You were trying to distract me, Polly. It was, in fact, dry when I drove it to. When are you going to hand out the Frank Jr. strategy? When are you going to hand out the Forest strategy? And what about the invite to Isaac's Discord channel? I'm working on it. I have not forgotten. I will have a way for you to, worst case scenario, book a call and I'll send it to you. Email me, Pepper@Godly Trading. I'll send it to you. Finding a way, because we can't communicate on YouTube. I can communicate on Instagram. Send me a message on Instagram and I can send it to you. But on YouTube, I have to send you a link to something, and it's the something that I haven't yet built because the IT department told me to let him do his job and stop trying to do it myself. It's a lot of words. Thank you guys for being here. I will see you all tomorrow.